having issues lately. I was trying to do this on the VC the other day, and one day I got on and I was playing video and talking away, and everything was working fine. And then the next day I hop on there, and it's like nothing. I'm like, everybody hear this?
Right.
Like, nah, we don't hear anything. The video's playing away, but you couldn't hear anything. So, anyway, give me a second here.
Yeah, man.
I was wanting to see if there's a link on the lives. Is there any way you could post the link for that?
Yeah. Talking about in the group?
Yeah.
I already did.
I want the to get in the TG and oh, there it is. Cool. Let me see.
Yeah, I posted in the TG as well.
I'm gonna forward this. Thank you.
Well, of course. The $10 or more. I should put $10 or more.
Oh, $10. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, $10 mission. Yeah, we've already been there. We gotta get back. We gotta get back there now, right?
$100 mission discussion.
Yeah, there you go.
I
like
changed
that
it to
$1,000. Wait, what is ETH right now? It's 14. Maybe it should be 14 whatever ETH is just mission. Since we're going 1 for 1. Here we go.
Yeah, 14. What is it? 1432.
one ETH, 1 Pyro, 1433 mission. So
there we go. You see it?
Let me see if it changes. Perfect. So you've been working hard today?
Yeah, man. Been working hard. Kind of been taking some time. I got a little sick, I guess, from the traveling. But yeah, man, I'm starting to feel better.
That's good.
And it seemed like every time I'm going to post the ether scan in here, let me see.
I'm going to go to your Adam. You did one this morning already, did you? The burn deal that you've been putting up.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did.
I saw your all I want for Christmas is Pyro.
Yeah. I was just trying to try and grab people's attention. But yeah, I did one. I did do one. Kind of discuss a little bit about it. Let me see. Space. So I wanted to put it on the top of the chat, the ether scan. It should show up here pretty soon. And should show up at the top there.
This is on the Telegram.
This is in the Twitter space. So I actually posted the ether scan. So if people wanted to see, it should be there now. Pyro. How, the burn is happening every transaction, and the fact that there's only 45,000 left on Uniswap pool as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. I wish there's a few things that I always wish to see. I'm a big kind of archiver, anyways, just like by nature. Almost like a collector, and I wish in those early days that like. Whenever we launched in July 20th, that we were keeping better track of what the numbers were on the first few days. Like, oh, look at this. Oh, I love that, the sentimental part. Just going down and going, man, look how far we've come, because if you ever noticed in the TG, when you get people that want to, talk this or say that, it's like, man, we have to keep things in perspective, I mean, we're only like, 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in, and we've just, like you said, we're on our way to 1433 mission, which is 1 ETH, 1 Pyro, but we already made it to almost 11, which is incredible, especially considering the fact that you have some people that are probably listening right now that's they purchased Pyro at 10 cents. I mean, is that 100x, right? So
yep.
that's a lot of money real quick.
Yeah.
That was like in a matter of just, I don't know how many days. Let's see. We hit 1072 on August the 7th. So that was, and we launched on the 20th, in the middle of the night, pretty much on the 20th. So you have 11 days in July plus the 7. So in 18 days, it went 100x. I'll take it.
Wow.
Woo! Oh man, no wonder people get so fired up, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, looking in here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. It's and it can happen again. I mean, because this time when you see it, it may go even higher than that because every burn, 60% true burn happens, and then you also have your utility tokens. It's help putting that in the dead wallet. So
Exactly.
every day is just happening a little slower because of maybe volume, things like that. But it's going to happen. It's just when.
It is going to happen, and it is happening
It's just
slower because of the
when.
volume, and the volume is, if you've been listening to the VC over the last week, and it really, like, once you do this a lot, and I didn't do it a lot with Cliff when I was with them because there would be other members from the team that would get in there, or there would just be like a group of guys that would be in there just constantly talking about, us going to the moon and which Lambo we were going to get, and all these islands we were going to be living on and stuff like that.
Islands. That's funny.
But peyote would get on from there,
Peyote.
and he would get legit. He'd start breaking it down, and it was just like the time would stop when he would walk into the TG. And it was like he'd get on the VC and start talking, and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like everything that he was talking about was like, yep. When I literally would get off of the VCs on the Telegram, and I'll just go straight to my computer and start buying.
Really?
I think that's where we were. Even in the early days, and we're still young. We're 6 or 7 weeks old, but just like Wall Street was just murdering it. Day after day after day,
Wall
hour
Street.
after hour after hour after hour after hour, and it's so inspiring. And you're just like, oh man, oh yeah, I gotta give me some more pyro right now. So.
Absolutely. Because what he's doing, he's basically telling the truth on the situation. It's only a matter of times. And then he would show like other projects that's similar, not exactly, but he would get you to think like, hey, this is going to happen. It's just about when. Yeah. Because it's going to explode. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, so, the question that keeps coming up, like, even when you get these drops like this, or this consolidation is, like, absolutely beautiful. I mean, to have, like, a micro cap that's sitting here on a absolute straight line right now, with it just sitting here, if you want to call it the floor, call it consolidation, whatever you want to call it. But to me, that straight line like that, where it's just, like, volume in and out, the contract is still doing its work, and so what? You know what I mean? Like, so be it. That's the magic of the Pyro contract, is that it's just working nonstop. And not only is it working, directly with the contract, but you have all the other tokens that ended up launching. Some of them got a little sideways. Some of them were dependent on other dev teams and stuff like that. But, you have Ring that's continuing to burn Pyro and pump that into the dead wallet. And then you have just the general volume of Pyro, and I call this just slow and steady, right now. And the one thing that I think not you, but just everybody in general, going back to the perspective, is that you have to keep in mind that, I mean, we're sitting at the bottom of a bear market right now, and I think the saving grace for a lot of people that are in here, it's almost like if you called this crypto winter, right? And you're sitting at the bottom of the bear market in crypto winter, that Pyro is essentially a jacket or a coat. It's like a safety net of some sort, because every day when I wake up, regardless of what's going on with ETH or Bitcoin or Shiba or any of the other coins, they're all flying all over the place. I can look at my Pyro contract and I can just see the progress every single day of those tokens coming off the blockchain. And it's like, damn, son, like I'm getting some kind of reward for just general volume, even if we're sitting at the bottom. So, I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's very true. And we got people in here. If you guys want to speak, just request to speak if you want to jump in and say a few things. But yeah, we'll definitely unmute your mic. Well, you have to unmute your mic. But yeah, you just knowing that, it's working for you. And I think it just takes a community to, just continue pushing out there. I mean, I'm doing about 1 or 2, short little videos to get people inspired and excited. And then eventually do kind of more of a, more longer, shorter videos. But I think it takes a group effort. I mean, you're doing a good job of definitely in the TG and Twitter and everywhere. And Jan is still doing its thing. And then we got a community that's behind it as well. It's definitely going to really, really shock people, man.
Yeah.
It's going to scare some people.
I wanted to start off, first of all, I know I met you in this space, in the Pyro space, and I appreciate everything that you've done for us and all the support and everything, and just kind of working with other influencers that have been wanting to be a part of it, or maybe they're listening in or whatever, and it's like they're kind of tippy-toeing, like not really sure if this is the real deal or not, and you got to do this, you got to do that, and like you and Jan and of course myself and Wall Street and many other people that are here have just been like promoting and supporting Pyro and Ring and some of the other tokens that have been launched through, basically powered by Pyro type stuff. So, I just wanted to tell you thank you. We appreciate it. Just the fact that you would even consider putting us up on your live space with any of your followers that may be listening that aren't even aware of Pyro for some odd reason. I just wanted to say thanks. And if Jan's listening, Crypto Wall Street, anybody that's listening that's been supporting from day one, thank you for everything. We're just going to keep pushing, and I just I want a lot of people to keep in mind that, especially the ones that have been supporting Pyro and been in and out of the TG, is that regardless of seeing other tokens that have this utility or this doing this or this doing this, the one thing that they don't have is that contract. There may be other people that are trying to fork it right now, and that's fine. But they're the little ones. We're the big Pyro, and let them go do whatever they want to do. Honestly, it's what is it? What they say, like imitation is the biggest form of flattery. It's like, let them go fork it, but there only be one big Pyro. And
right.
So yeah. So we appreciate that. So how did you end up getting involved with Pyro?
It was actually Jan. Jan actually was telling me about it. Learning from him. I think it might have been the second or so week in existence. And so I instantly jumped in and I started doing videos, started doing content for Pyro. Once I understood the contract, I was like, man, like I have not seen too many things like this where like every transaction, it really burns off the actually supply. Like if it's a buy or sell. And then I was like, okay, cause I just got like a little bag. And then I realized that if I didn't start adding stuff in here, then I won't really have, I felt like I needed to act on it pretty quick. And then I wanted to let people know about it as well. And when the contracts renounced, and when you saw the fact that they were reducing supply every transaction, and then they were trying to get other tokens, other projects to burn this token, I think it's only a matter of time this thing goes up to about 20, 30, 50, 100, or maybe even 1433. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, for anybody that's wondering why he put it up 1433, it's always been our mission almost since day one that we were going to be one ETH equals one Pyro. So the price of ETH right now is 1433. So we just decided to label it that. But hopefully one day ETH is 4,000 and Pyro is 4,000 as well, or 10,000 or whatever. But
right. Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable. I think somebody was doing the math. Was it Ghost? or the CPA guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's me. Can you guys hear me?
What's going on, man? What's up?
What's up?
Yeah,
I was
you were
just
doing the math.
Yeah. I was just letting you guys talk. I was waiting for a turn to jump in, but since you guys mentioned the math, I was like, yeah, that's the best part about Pyro is that, one thing is numbers don't lie, and math is math. So, I don't know if there's anybody in here new that's listening, but one thing I realized is that even if you heard this before, I'm going to continue to repeat it, repeat these certain points because that's how all of us came to understand and really grasp what we have here because we're sitting on gold. For the people that's listening that haven't bought a bag of Pyro or don't really understand what's going on in Pyro, one thing we want to try to stress is, this is a new token that, what they were saying earlier, it's never been done before. We're burning tokens right off the blockchain. And, what you have to appreciate is the amount that's sitting in the Uniswap supply. Right now, I don't know the number, but I know earlier when I was doing the math, we were talking about math, there was about 45,000 tokens left in the Uniswap supply to purchase. Now,
that's correct.
Off with 1 million tokens. My earpiece came off. We started off with 1 million tokens. There's about 600,000 that are bought up, and the only thing that's left to purchase right now of Pyro is about 40-something thousand tokens. And when I did the math earlier, I think we had 45 tokens at the time. If 41 tokens or 42 tokens, 42,000 tokens were to be bought, which is simple, it's easy. We already bought up 600,000 in less than a month. So all we need now is about 40-something thousand tokens to be bought and held. And the price of Pyro would go to about $700 per token. Now think about that. We done already bought 600 and something thousand in about a month. So can you see how fast this thing can take off? All we need is just volume, just people to be like, okay, I'll buy $100 here and there. And once that happens, that can happen within a day, to be honest with you. Someone was asking earlier, hey, how long do you think it'll take before we reach these levels? It could pop off at any moment. All we need is just somebody or anybody, or maybe even another influencer to tell their community, hey, you guys got to check out Pyro. And once they come over here and they really understand it, they're going to be believers just like us. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm going to hold on to this thing for dear life because this is like gold. So, right. That's the thing that, I think people need to understand about what's going on with Pyro. This is not a normal other token. We're not looking at market cap and we're not doing that kind of math. Only thing we're doing is we're looking at that Uniswap supply. And once the supply continues to get burned, 6% off of each buy and sell. And here's the great thing about it is that we really, we don't need, the activity is just going to depend upon how fast it burns. If we get a lot of activity, then it burns faster. We can do this thing in a day. We can do it in 2 days. We do it in a month. We can do it in a week. If we stay right where we're at right now, burning like 1,000 Pyro a day, it may take a year, but that's fine. That's really totally fine, because you're telling me in a year that Pyro is going to be $1,000 per Pyro and it's sitting at $2 right now, and it's automatically going to happen. None of us need to do anything. We can just sit back and hold and just continue to show like we've been doing and pick up some new holders here and there, and we'll get there eventually. So
I think that's an important point to make, CPA is that we even though we can sit back, we still can't sit back as a community if you are a holder and you're promoting, because we have to still continue to build our brand and get our name out there.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, we do need to continue to show and continue to do our part as a community. But, we know that, staking is coming. That's the biggest thing that's on its way. Staking will be here in another, who knows? It could be another week, another couple weeks. It could be here any day now. But staking is coming, and
Right.
what people need to understand is what's going to happen with staking is that we'll be able to stake out tokens. You'll be able to earn some Pyro while you're staking, and whales are going to see this and they're going to feel comfortable about aping in 10 ETH at a time, 8 ETH at a time, 20 ETH at a time, because they know that, hey, they can go ahead and ape into a project, and they know that, people aren't going to go run out on them. I don't think it's going to happen anyway, because most of us that are in here are trying to hold Pyro until it gets to $10,000 per Pyro, $50,000 per Pyro, $100,000 per Pyro, because that's what's going to eventually happen when the price when the supply is burnt down to about 100 or 200,000 left. Pyro is going to be about $100,000 per Pyro. So a lot of people are holding out for those life changing type Pyro costs. So once the whales come in, that's it. This thing's going to take off, and then that's when the FOMO is going to kick in. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, look at Pyro. Pyro is just moving up. It was just $2. Now it's at $10. Now it's at 15. It's at 20. It's at 25. It's at 50. It's at 100. People are going to just be pumping in. So at that point, we don't even have to advertise anymore. People are just going to be FOMOing in just because. And when it does take off, it's going to catch fire. It's going to go fast. We were looking at a token earlier on the VC. We were looking at a BNB rebase token called Goes Up Higher. And that's one that Wall Street used to always talk about. That's kind of similar to Pyro, where the supply is being taken away. It wasn't being burnt off the blockchain, but something different was happening with the supply. And within weeks, days, that token went to 180K per token. You can look it up on Dextils. You can check Poo Chart, and you can follow it. The ticker symbol is GUH. It's called Goes Up Higher. And if you don't want to take my word for it, you can go see it for yourself. And it went to 100K per token. It was trading for days at 40-something thousand per token. So imagine, and here's the crazy thing about it is that it started just like Pyro when it was a couple of cents. It started off like at a fraction of a penny, and it went that high. So, that's what, the message that, people don't understand or yet see yet with Pyro. They don't see it. They think it's a normal token and, it's only $2. It ain't really moving, but they don't realize the supply is burning. And at some point that supply is going to get so low that the price is going to shoot up on every buy and every sell. And then the people who are bought in now are going to be sitting good, because if you bought in at $2 and Pyro's at $1,000, you're going to tell me you won't take those gains? So anyway, I'm so passionate about Pyro, and I'm passionate about the possibilities that's there, because we're not talking about years, we're talking about this thing can happen in days, weeks, months, and that was the expectation at first. At first when we all came in, we were like, oh yeah, Pyro will be $1,000 by Christmas. It'll be $1,000 by Christmas, and it's still possible. We just got to continue to spread the awareness. And appreciate you, Adam, for holding this Twitter space, and Global for speaking. But this is what's going to educate the investors, and they'll get comfortable. Join the Telegram, and you'll see how great it is in there. And you'll see that there's a lot of diamond hand holders that are in the Telegram, and that's what we want. We don't want $100 Pyro. We'll take it, but that's not the goal. We want $1,000. We want a $10,000. We want a $100,000 Pyro, $100,000 Pyro. That's what we want. And this token can do it because of the tokenomics and the way the contract is built. It's just a matter of time, and it's a matter of time, and how fast we'll get there.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
I think you nailed it, man. I mean, one thing I was just gonna make clear for people that were listening is that, and you did say it. It just said it quick. It's a 6% buy tax and 6% sell tax, and all of it goes straight to the burns, right off the blockchain. And there's no marketing wallet. There's no dev wallet. It's a straight community token. And I think in a way that kind of helps us, because it's going to end up having to like bond us all together in order to push this forward. And the golden goose, the golden ticket, is the contract. Regardless of any other utilities that we may have, at the end of the day, we got the golden goose. We're sitting on maybe the top ERC token, in my view, definitely of 2022, but maybe even going forward. Crypto Wall Street said this a lot, that this could end up being something that could be pretty iconic, because it's one of the very first token. It is the first token that I'm aware of that does this on the ERC. And if you think back to last year, September, October, November, when the bull market was going crazy and these tokens were launching, and every single one of them, and I'm not lying, every single one of them was hitting like 10 million was on accident, 50 million was pretty easy, and there was numerous tokens that hit, they were hitting 200, 100 million, 200 million, all the way up into the billion range, and we're just in a tough market right now. But the thing that those tokens didn't have back in the day, and they were still going berserk, was this contract. The only thing that, in my view, that was even close to this was groundbreaking tokenomics from Cliff Token. And one of the things that they did was a really high tax, and they were saying that they were gonna they had all the burns, and they were gonna go to a dev wallet, like Jan was saying on his video today, and then they would do manual buybacks and burns daily, and you could track them. And then sometimes we would even have events where they would take, when the liquidity was thick, they would take the extra liquidity and they would just go ahead and just start burning it. So there was days when, we were burning $200,000 or $300,000 worth of Cliff tokens. And on one of the days, we burned $1 million at one instance, and that's one of the reasons why that token ended up hitting like $200 million twice. And looking back now, I loved it, and I loved everybody that was in the community. But the thing is they do not have the contract that Pyro has. This is the contract that Shiba, Saitama, Cliff, Shinja, Volt, all these other tokens, that try to burn. This is the contract that they wish they would have had. Period. And I'm glad we're on it, and I'm glad we're early. It's pretty exciting. I think you can probably hear it from definitely from CPA and myself and Crypto Wall Street and Adam and Jan and everybody else that continues to keep supporting it. So, and then one thing that I wanted to add, you mentioned about the staking. We are continuing to develop the staking platform. I want to make everybody aware that sometimes the contracts can be a lot more complicated than it seems, and so I know that the guys are working on the contract right now, and as soon as that's finished up, then we'll integrate it with the dApp and then get that ready to launch. But one thing that we need to make sure that we steer away from is putting any undue pressure, when we're not in any real huge hurry to get the staking done. It's going to happen. But I think the most important thing is that, the user interface is ready to go, the contract is ready to go, and that when the staking platform is launched out there, that, it goes off without a hitch. So, I just wanted to add that. And then I also have seen a few people in the TG mention about the NFTs that are in the roadmap. And according to Crypto Wall Street, that because we're working on the staking platform right now, that this is going to be the main priority. So I don't think a lot of focus has gone into the NFTs at this moment. But once we get, the staking platform established and everybody's good with what they're doing there, then in my view, that's going to be the next thing that we'll be working on.
That makes sense. That does make sense. The update on staking, and it's probably good to focus on staking right now, because I think that's something that people can see the value instantly. Earning tokens, staking your tokens, keeping it safe and secure. And everyone's saying nice things. I'm really saying bullish things, saying honest things, because since we've been talking, the supply has been melting. Mm-hmm. And it really has. It is a contract I think other projects would love to have. It's amazing how they came up with this. Like even in the bear market, this thing is still valuable.
I mean, look at the extent that Shiba Inu had to go to try to get it to where they could start getting rid of their supply. Once everything took off with that token, everybody was looking at that 594 quadrillion tokens that they have, and they're like, holy crap, we love this ecosystem and we love the tokens, but how the freak do we get rid of them, you know? And it's like, oh, I got an answer for you. You could have written you could have, you know, I guess hypothetically you could have written the Pyro contract. If Shiba Inu had written the Pyro contract from day one, I don't think they would have had to put the burn portal and all the other stuff that they've been doing to try to get rid of their supply. So, but thankful for us, you know, we got it from day one. We walked in the door with 1 million tokens. Not even 2 months ago, we had 1 million tokens, and all we have left is 643,000 until I retire. So, and that's a joke.
What number are you looking at?
600. Do what?
What is your number? Like, what's your number in terms of total supply?
Where do I think the total supply is going to hit before it goes into shock and starts going like super parabolic just on its own?
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, I think it's going to happen. Like I've said this a few times. I'm very, very interested to see it happen. But there's been tokens that are in the space that are burn tokens that are all going to the null address dead wallet, and they all claim that if they burn them off, you know, if they burn them, that eventually, you know, they're going to squeeze and they're going to do this. But no one, to my knowledge, has actually seen it happen. And I haven't seen any of those tokens actually cross over the 50% mark. Most of them, they may say they're going to burn, and then the community dies out and they don't get there. And what I think is going to happen with Pyro is that it's going to cross over 50%. And even if we see the changes start to happen really slowly, like they are right now, where it's really hard to tell unless you start to do the big maths, you know, and look at it, when it crosses over the 50% mark, that's going to be a milestone for me. That's going to say that, like, you know, in general, this thing is working, because you can actually do the math and see that the less supply is causing the price of the token to be higher than it would have been if our full max total supply would have been there. So I think that's a big milestone marker. And then once we get past that 50, then I think you're going to have a psychological effect also, where we're going to be able to promote the fact that we've made it to a point that no other token has ever made it to in regards to the burns, where we're now on the downhill slide. And I think the momentum is going to start picking up, and it's going to be like, man, look at this. Now they're on their way down. They're going to a point where no one's ever been before. And if they make it to, let's just say, 200,000 or something like that, 300,000 of the total supply, and the quantity in the Uniswap pool starts to squeeze as well, because the amount of tokens that are available now are not going to be available because the price is going to be higher. They're not going to want to sell them. You see what I mean? It's like the two kind of work together to force the price upward, because the quantity in the Uniswap pool disappears also, and I think it's going to happen somewhere in the 200,000, 200,000 or 300,000 range. It's gonna just start ramping up. Like, it's gonna stay flat like this, and if you were to zoom out on your chart, it would almost look like it's kind of flat, and you may see some areas, you know, where it goes low and high, but it's nothing that really sticks out to you. And then you're gonna see almost like a skateboard ramp, where it just kind of ramps up, and then it hits a spot. It's like a point of no return, where the two are kind of working simultaneously together, and it's just explosion, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just gonna absolutely take off, like, and you don't really know when. And what CPA was saying earlier, and him and I both agree on this, is that the steady volume right now, the contract is still doing its work. Every morning I wake up and it's been 1,000 every single day. It's just coming off the total supply. And if we have a great day like we did today, where there was a lot of volume, and we burned or was it yesterday? We burned 3,000 tokens yesterday, or 2,500 tokens. And then some days we only burn in 1,000, you know? But when we have these spikes, either it's up, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it goes up, we burn a lot. And if it goes down, if it goes down a lot, we burn a lot. And if it stays steady, we're still burning a lot. It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just the ups and downs, the upswings and the downswings with the heavier volume are like turbo NOSes, like they're just speeding up the inevitable. But it may take like it could take a year. It could take 6 months. It depends. If the market turns around and ETH starts taking off and people buy this ETH because the market's turned around and that they end up dumping it back into the microcap market, this is one of the tokens that's going to be like, you made it through the bear market. If you made it through the bear market, you got to be legit, and we're going to be pumping a ton of money into Pyro to actually see if it can do what it's says it's going to do, which is it is going to do it. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. My number, Adam, is sorry for the long-winded answer, but the number is, I think, in the 200,000. When the Pyro max total supply gets in the 200,000 range, I think you're gonna see the price of Pyro somewhere in the range of what CPA guys talking about, where you could hit it $700, $1,000, couple $1,000. I don't know yet,
Yeah.
but it's going to be astronomical.
And here's the thing. I honestly, though, I agree at $200,000, but I think it's almost going to happen even sooner than that and here's the reason why I think so, right? Because right now we're at 600 and something thousand, right? I think like if we got down to like 400,000, right? 400,000, 300,000. At that point now, only the true holders are going to be holding that Pyro, and they're not going to be selling it because it's going to be so expensive, and I guess what I'm saying is that it's not going to be that much in a Uniswap pool. It's probably going to be like maybe a couple hundred, people selling here and there because the price is going to be so high. So you don't need to sell 1,000 Pyro. You can sell, if it's $100,000 per Pyro, people are just going to be selling one or a fraction of a Pyro, so that's why it's important, and people don't understand, and people are like, oh man, people are selling. It's really important. It's great that we stay in this area here for the longer time, because at this price point here, it's affordable and people are buying and selling hundreds and thousands of Pyro at a time. So we're burning 6% each time. But when it starts to become, when it's $100,000 per Pyro, people are only going to be buying a fraction of a Pyro, and then only a fraction of that fraction is what's going to be burned. So the burns are going to slow down at some point. So it's great that we're burning up as much as we can right now. It's great because at some point now, those burns are going to slow down, and the reason why is because it's going to be less Pyro that's bought. People aren't going to be buying 1,000 Pyro at a time because it's going to be $1,000. It's going to be $100,000 per Pyro. Or even when it's like $10,000 per Pyro, it's going to become like Bitcoin, where people are just going to be buying like $200, $300, $1,000. Very few people are going to be buying like whole Bitcoins, and people that are buying whole Bitcoins are usually like Michael Saylor and these guys that are buying like hundreds at a time or whatever. So that's why it's so important. And the one thing also that I wanted to mention too is that we keep forgetting is that Pyro has a secret weapon. Not only that it just burns its own supply at 12% round trip, but the secret weapon is that we have something else that no one else has, is that we have Ring of Pyro, which is a utility token that can burn any other token that we want. So to give you an example of that, right now we're burning Volt. Before we were burning Shiba. Now, here's what can easily happen, and I'm sure it's probably being talked about and can easily happen. Someone from Pyro's dev team or the team can easily just go, not easily, but this can happen. They can get in touch with somebody on the Volt team. It's not going to be one person, but it could be like some major whales on the Volt team and say, hey, or we know you guys want to burn, here's what we can do. We know that if we get this amount of volume on our Ring token, we can burn X amount of Vault tokens. And that's all we have to do is show them the math, because it's all math. We can say, hey, if we have X amount of volume, if we have, I don't know, $100,000 volume a day, this would equate to how many burns you'll have. So we're confident with our process. All we need now is the volume. So those whales can say, hey, you know what? It's a win-win, because we can go ahead and buy a bag of ring, and ring is also burning like pyro. So it's the price is gonna go up the more we buy. And then at the same time, while we're buying ring, our bags over here at Vault or Sheba or whatever contract we're burning, the price is going up as well, because we're burning the supply down. So it's a win-win situation. So if any type of negotiation like that goes on, oh my goodness, man, forget it. Because if you have whales that get their community behind them and say, hey guys, Pyro's burning the shit out of our tokens, so we need to go ahead and support them. The more we can support them, the better our token, the price is going to be. Now we get the volume. So what happens is that's Pyro's secret weapon, because not only does ring burn any other token, it burns itself, and then it also burns Pyro. Pyro's always going to get a cut at the end. So not only is Pyro's burning itself, and then we have ring that can burn Pyro at the same time too. So if people understand that, it's genius. It's unbelievable what can happen. I mean, this thing right here, and like I said, it doesn't take that much volume for it to happen. It's easily obtainable, but the problem is that people need to really understand what's going on here. Once they understand it and they could explain it, and then once people grasp it and they obtain it, it's over. This thing is it's Pyro. It's gonna go off. It's gonna explode. It's gonna take off. Pyro and ring will both take off. And the last thing I would say is anybody else that's listening that may have bought, some of the other sister tokens, I just want to explain the relationship. Not even the sister tokens. I wouldn't even call them that. They used to call them ecosystem tokens. And the relationship with that is that Pyro has this technology, and other devs are coming to Pyro and say, hey, we want to burn bot. We want to use all that stuff. We want to use it, and we just want to just throw our name on it, and we want to just work it and just use it. Pyro's like, sure, you can use my technology, but you're going to have to pay me, some taxes off of it. And that's what's happening. So Pyro was saying, hey, sure, just pay us taxes. So those tokens also, when they are bought and sold, they are also burning Pyro on the back end. So if anybody looks into Etherscan and they see the dead wallet, that's what the dead wallet is for. Pyro is burning tokens off of the blockchain, and you'll see that number decrease. But at the same time too, purchases are coming in of buying Pyro and being sent to the dead wallet from Ring and from these other tokens to where they're renting out our Pyro's technology. So Pyro's getting, if I'm Pyro and I want my supply to go down, I'm gonna be like, sure, I'll give you the technology. You're burning my supply down. So now I have you burning my supply. I have Pyro burning down the supply of every buy and sell. And then we have another utility token called Ring that we can push out to any token and reduce the supply. So at the end of the day, the goal is let's reduce the supply of Pyro. And it will happen. Once we said, it's just a matter of time that it's going to happen. And so anyway, I just wanted to clear up the point with those other sister tokens. They're not the same dev. They're just regular people who are launching a coin, and they don't have no other utility or no other, gimmick. They just want to go ahead and launch a coin and I guess make some money. So they want to borrow Pyro's technology, and Pyro's like, sure, you just pay me taxes on it. I would do it, So those tokens, some of them are not doing so well. But like I said, because they have their own dev team and they should have their own shield team and everything else. But what the problem is though is that they are leaning on Pyro, and that's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, we're just like Pyro. Pyro's is related to us, and that's our utility. So they're gonna market, and they're marketing this whole, hey, we're just like Pyro, or Pyro's is a part of us, and we're all one, and that's what they're relying on. And that's why some of them aren't doing as well, is because they're just kind of like saying, hey, and it's kind of like the same thing in the forks. The forks, there are forks that are being launched like every day. I was in a couple of them, and most of them are dust right now. And if they're not dust yet, they'll go to dust. They'll last to like maybe some a week, a few weeks, a month or so. But that's what they're doing. They're forking Pyro, and then they're advertising, saying, hey guys, this is a better version of Pyro. You know, we've did this and we did that. And they're over there on life support right now. I know one of them I'm looking at right now, and I'm like, I give them another week or two, and they're going to be done. And this one, they thought they were going to be the ones to take over Pyro. And that's how they're advertising, and that's how they're making their gains. They're just riding Pyro. Every tweet you see, they got Pyro's name in it, you know, and that's what they're doing. And we're at a $1.5 million market cap. You know, when I send out a tweet, I'm tweeting with Ether, ETH, BTC, because I want that audience to see my token. Why would I tweet about a token that's 1.5 million in market cap? Like, that has 100 holders, you know, like, seriously? So that's what these other tokens are doing. So anyway, I just wanted to clear the air up on that, just for anyone that's listening. That Pyro is the real deal. Pyro is the original True Bird contract on the ERC platform, often imitated, but never duplicated. And Pyro, as you can see, we're holding strong through the bear market. You know, this is considered the bear market, and we're holding strong. Imagine once we get into the bull market, or imagine once altcoin season kicks off. Just imagine that.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I agree, man. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I see Mimi. Is Mimi there?
We lost Mimi.
Okay.
Gotta turn the mic on.
Maybe Mimi will come back. So what's going on tonight, Adam? What else you got going on?
Oh, just getting things ready for the weekend. Actually, just kind of
little Home Depot and Bed Bath and Beyond.
You know what? I do need to go to Home Depot, but and Bed Bath and Beyond. So absolutely.
You better hit up Bed Bath and Beyond before it goes out of business.
Yeah,
it's on its way. They apparently they were closing like 150 stores, and I think they had some pretty sad news about their CFO last week. So yeah, they're in the dumps, man. I think the entire financial market right now is really struggling, and it's good to at least have our bear market coat on with Pyro to keep us warm. So, but yeah, if anybody's listening, if you haven't joined our Telegram, please do so. We have a great community, awesome people in there, a lot of experience, and I don't know. Yeah, just thanks for letting us come onto your platform, Adam. And thanks for all the support. Thanks for all your daily burn shorts.
Do you think that helps?
I think it does. Yeah. I mean, what I've said to the community probably over the last couple weeks is, once I actually discovered TikTok and saw how powerful the TikTok was, and then I was like, I saw that first few shorts. It just kind of caught my attention with the shorts, and I'm like, man, this is like the YouTube version of TikTok. Why would we not want these? Why are we not doing them? I've been reaching out to everybody in the community going, please step up. You know, we need more shorts. We need more TikToks. We need any any type of content that's going to help bring attention to Pyro, so we can get the word out there about the top ERC token of 2022, then I'm happy with it. It's great. So yeah. If I don't know if we want to call it a day. If CPA's got anything else to say, or KJ. I know she's a well in training, but she might have something she wants to say.
Well in training.
Yeah. KJ is she's working on. I don't know if she's a minnow or a fish or what, but she's working on being a whale.
Yes.
So I'm happy for that.
I think I'm a good, maybe like baby shark.
That's good. Yeah, you definitely. If you got in when Jan posted this on YouTube, you were definitely a baby shark at this point. So
I did. I was blessed to get in pretty early. Sorry I'm late. My day job got me pretty good today, but I'm sure everything has been covered already. But yeah, this token is excellent. 1 ETH, 1 Pyro. We're getting there. It's a slow moon, but I just feel like there's going to be a point where that slow moon is going to go very, very quickly, especially as the volume increases. So looking forward to that.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Adam.
Always appreciate you, KJ. Yeah, I guess we can call it then. Yeah, we need to definitely do this again. Twitter, that way you can get out there to more people.
I think we covered all the bases. I don't really have any more things to say. I got a lot of stories to tell, but we'll save them for another day. So.
We'll do. All right, man, guys. We'll do this again probably next week, and then 1 ETH, 1 Pyro. Signing off.
Yes, sir, man. Have a good weekend. Thanks a lot.
You too.